Hello, everyone. I'm Allison, and welcome to my weekly meltdowns coverage of The Last of Us, episode 4, entitled "Please Hold My Hand." And with me is Tyler. Tyler, will you hold my hand?
I will always hold your hand, Allison.
The other way.
Here you go.
I'm not holding your elbow. You got to do it. Just forget it.
Wait, like
you know what? No, you're supposed to put your hand towards my hand.
Like this?
This is a train wreck already. I hope there's just okay. You know what? This is like when I walked into my sister's room and tripped over her bra. It was a booby trap.
I'm glad I could make that comparison for you.
Did you get it?
No.
Do you watch the show we're covering at all? Did you watch it?
Recovery?
Okay. I just want to welcome everyone to this nightmare that is my weekly meltdown.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
The show that I just did a bad joke from No Pun Intended, Volume 2, TLOU, the book that Ellie was reading in the episode.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay.
Sorry. Went right over.
It's already started, people.
So we, of course, we just did episodes 1 through 3, and we were like, maybe we'll do like 5 or like 4 through 6, and then 7 through 9, or, but we just decided like, hey, why the heck not? We have the time this time of year. We don't really have any like reality shows to cover, so we were like, let's do The Last of Us recap every week. So we will be back here. Like the tentative plan is like every Monday, so giving you guys like 24 hours to watch the episode, so that it's not like spoiler filled on the internet or anything like that. But if you're enjoying the show as much as we are, you're gonna watch it right away. So right. I don't feel too bad doing it on Monday.
and just so you know, guys, Tyler and I have never played the video game. I don't know a lot about the video game. I've come across some spoilers during research. So if, we don't know everything. So if you are hardcore and you're going to get angry because we're effing something up and not saying it right, and we're getting it wrong, this is not the show for you.
Yeah, this is not the show for, like, we are not an encyclopedic knowledge on The Last of Us or anything like that.
No.
Just two friends just talking about zombies.
Right. I mean, and I don't even know if I even would consider this a zombie show.
Okay.
I really don't, because zombies reanimate. When you die, you come back as a zombie. And they said in this episode, no, once you're dead, you're dead. The dead don't come back. You know. So that was kind of something that was ringing in my ears, I don't know. I'm kind of feeling like this series, is not, it's going to be more about the people than the dead. Okay. And I'm here for the relationships because, I just spent 12 years in a relationship with a show called The Walking Dead, where it was about the people and the walkers, and it just, the bottom fell out and then it was a big old dumpster fire. But, I feel like this is going the right way and they're doing it, I love the way they're doing it. But anyway, we don't have time for that, but I had fired up. I felt like singing a little bit at the beginning of the show, but I know this is going to fall on deaf ears. I know you're not going to get it, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Go for it.
Because we open the show in the bathroom. We've got Ellie playing with her gun, holding it up, doing all of her stuff. A lot of people have compared it to Robert De Niro's Travis Bickle in the movie Taxi Driver. Do you know what I'm talking about, Tyler?
No,
do you know?
No idea.
You talking to me?
No.
Are you talking to me? Are you?
Because I don't see anybody else here.
I was waiting to see if you released.
I know that.
That. Jodie Foster won her first Oscar for that movie. She was like freaking 12 years old, playing a hooker. So there's a lot to unpack there. But anyway, so Ellie's got her gun, and all I'm thinking is I'm singing in my head, Ellie's got a gun.
I know that song.
By Aerosmith. It's Janie's got a gun, but she's just practicing. I don't think she's anything like Travis Bickle. I think she's really practice. She's just into it. She's got this gun. Nobody knows she's got Frank's gun but her, and she's okay with it, and it's going to come in handy a little bit later. Everything happens for a reason. Another,
Chekhov's gun.
like a gun. Yeah, that's right. Like a gun. So one thing that I'm happy that this show is addressing is the ciphering of gas. I hate to beat a dead horse, but I can't help it. The Walking Dead never addressed the gas issue that
I had no idea that was even a thing.
That is a thing, and it was one of the things that I have about for years. This was one of the moments during the show that my husband, when we were watching it the first time, had to pause it and let me jump up and down on the couch and go, see? Finally, somebody is addressing the gas, turns to water, liquid. It doesn't run. You can't get in a freaking car and drive for 12 hours without having to stop and get gas. It's been 20 years. It's not good anymore. So I'm glad that they finally addressed that, because in The Walking Dead, they're zipping around in Kias, brand new, oil change, everything, not a print on them. Not great tires. The tires are always in great shape. They're not rotted. They're not old. Nothing. And they're running generators to power up whole little small towns with this gas that they never explain anything about it. Which brings me to another point. Like, they're driving from Massachusetts and they make it to Kansas City, Missouri, but they got to stop like every hour. These aren't words out of my mouth. These are words out of Joel's mouth. We got to stop every hour because, and he explains what's going on with the gas. How long has it been? Like, literally, how long have they been on the road from Massachusetts to Kansas City, Missouri? Like, it's been a while. I have no idea. I'm not going to do the math. If anyone out there wants to do it, make a comment. It's fine. But I just thought that was funny. And then we had the reveal of the no puns intended volume TLOU that Ellie has found or has been carrying around with her. Starts letting the jokes out, which is what I tried to open the show with, and that failed miserably because somebody in here doesn't pay attention. But that's okay. That's okay. So anyway, it's a road trip. This is like her third day. Well, okay, it's 3 days because she even says, "This is my third day in a trip." Never been reading a map. She's reading a map like she's seen one. Boy, I tell you what, Tyler, have you ever read a map?
Yeah, I'm actually I'm very good at map reading and like directions and navigation and stuff like that. So
of course you are. I'm not good with maps. I'm not the go-to. I'm not the person that you're going to trust in this situation. If it was the two of us in the car, you would have
you drive and I'll have the map.
There's no like you probably wouldn't even trust me to drive. You'd be like, no. I'll just take my life into my. I mean, what's the worst that could happen at this point? So they're driving, but I bet you have you ever read Bearskin?
No.
BEAR skin.
What is that?
Tyler, honey, did you watch the show?
The show? Yeah.
The dirty magazine that she found in the back of the Dirty Gay Man magazine.
I didn't see the the name of the I thought it was like a book you were like referring to or something.
No,
I didn't see like the name of the publication, but I did like the joke where she was like, why are all these pages stuck together? Why is it like crispy?
I was like, is he really going to try to answer this question? And she's looking like, I just want to see what all the fuss is about. Honey, it don't look like that in real life.
No.
It doesn't.
So they toss it on the highway.
Yeah, get rid of it.
Yeah.
You'll see. It's not.
That is nasty.
Yeah. We get a little backstory, because they're really trying to get to Wyoming to get to the Fireflies and his brother, Tommy. And he refers to his brother, he's like, she says, like, why aren't you with your brother? Like, why are we going with this? He's like, well, it's a long story. She's like, well, is it 25 hours work? Like, is it too long to fill 25 hours?
Yeah.
So we find out that his brother Tommy was recruited by the Marine, the woman we met, I think episode 2 or 1, was recruited Tommy because he's a joiner. He's got to have a cause to fight for. He was in Desert Storm. He
can
was
get you
in,
killed.
huh?
I said that can get you killed.
Yeah, it can. I mean, you join and you want to make a difference. And I get that mentality. Like, I really understand. You know, my brother was in the service. My dad, my grandparents, they all served, and I get it. But yeah, it's just, this is a different kind of situation. You've got the federal government, which is completely, from what I can see, hi Kylan, is falling apart. Cities are being overrun by people, which to me at this point are worse than the infected. Okay, let's just the fungi people. Let's just worse, in my opinion. And they do stop at one point. You know, he refers to her as family. She's not family. She's cargo. I have a feeling that's going to change.
Well,
really
definitely.
quick.
I feel like this is like the first episode where like they're not actively like resenting each other, and they're starting to build a bond and trust each other. And of course, like we'll get a huge test of that trust like later in this episode. But I think like that's the groundwork they're trying to lay here, is like they're starting to see eye to eye on things, and Ellie's like not as obnoxious as she has been.
Oh no, she's as obnoxious as she has been, Tyler.
Okay.
Just Joel's getting used to it, as I am.
Gotcha. He knows how to deal with it.
Yeah, but I love the characters. Don't get me, I'm not bashing you. I love the characters. Every time a little bit of Joel's wall chips away, I hear this in my head. Hello. By Adele. I keep hearing that song. Every time he turns it, like I feel like, hello. I don't know. It's me.
See, I get that reference.
For talking. We got 25 hours in the car.
And
look at those
20-year-old Chef Boyardee ravioli.
Chef Boyardee, which is the bomb. Oh, look, it's an abandoned amusement park. Oh, look, it's a train falling off a track.
I actually loved like those shots of them like driving and like seeing the world. Were you surprised by like the group, the cattle or whatever that they drove by that was completely intact?
No, because to me, I think there's some farming going on out there, which is something I'm going to bring real quick. Side note, something I forgot to bring up last week. If you have never watched this show on YouTube, you need to look it up. It's called Land After People.
Oh, I've heard of this.
Have you heard? It's amazing.
Yeah.
It is a show that shows what would happen if everyone on the planet disappeared, and what would happen to the world, what would happen to animals, buildings, everything. And it is so freaking cool to watch. Like sometimes I'm just sitting on my back porch and I'm just watching this show, and because I am obsessed with like abandoned buildings, malls, amusement parks. It's crazy. I love that kind of stuff. But anyway, so look that up. So which creeped me out, because you see all these cattle fully intact, fed in a herd. Someone is taking care.
Yes.
So he decides this is a good time to pull off the road into the woods. But there's no one, because in my mind, I'm going, we're okay. So we're going to pull off here. I don't think you should panic. I'm definitely not panicking, but that's like a farm. What's going on down there. But so yeah, but they camp. They have God knows how old nasty coffee. Chef Boyardee, which I love. I might eat some on my next cheat day. Put some shredded cheese on it. Sprinkle some Splenda.
I mean, especially in the post-apocalyptic world, I bet that shit is like gourmet, right?
That is freaking gourmet. 4 Seasons, the best shit on the planet. I'm telling you, my freaking grandson loves it. And he's 15 months old, dude. He's in heaven.
Still can eat it like 20 years later and be fine.
Would it though? It does have an expiration date on the bottom of the can.
But it's it's first of all, it's canned. Second of all, like I'm sure it's like filled with preservatives. Like there's not a natural thing in that whole concoction.
It's terrible. It's like ramen noodles in the box. God, there's not a nutritional. There's nothing in that that's good for you. Like I said, I'd be in a coma on the couch after I eat a can of that stuff.
Yeah,
I'm useless. My intestines will definitely turn on me. But yeah, so I thought that was kind of neat. I love the abandoned stuff. That always gets me. I'm not too keen on going across bridges that go across mass
Yeah.
quantities of water during this
Yeah.
time period, but I guess it works. So they're going to they try to go through Kansas City, Missouri, and when they get there to the exit, the tunnel, whatever, it's completely blocked by cars and a Sara Lee truck. This gigantic Sara Lee truck that's been raided. I just want to point out.
Oh, of course.
Would you raid the Sara Lee?
Absolutely.
I probably would too. I'm not a big Sara Lee fan, but I'm pretty sure that shit went quick and first.
Yeah.
But this is where it gets, they're camping and they're having this conversation and telling bad jokes. There's nothing to be scared of. We're in the woods. We're not lighting a fire. It attracts the infected. And because of people. He's like, people are what we need to fear right now. And they got more plans for us outside of taking our stuff and our dignity and everything else that comes with it. Okay. So to me, at this point, we've already kind of established with this that the people are the main problem and the antagonists in this episode. And when we get to this tunnel, he gets out and Joel's looking around. And when he looks under the Sara Lee truck, it's clear. Like there's nothing in this tunnel. It's completely cleared out. So you could go under it. That would not be my first train of thought, because as soon as you walk out on the other side, boom, 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 it's a bottleneck. They're going to get you. So,
or like they could come from like both sides and like trap you in the middle there.
Well, that's what I'm thinking is they block this off and they kind of force you to go around the back way, and they end up in the city. They're lost. They are stuck in what I call a kill box. Do you know what a kill box is?
Kind of like a terminus in The Walking Dead, like the city of like cannibals, like how well they of like a mousetrap, that whole place was like set up to lure them to specific places.
They got them exactly where they wanted them from the aerial point of view too. Like they're shooting at them. All of this is, I think they're shooting. Well, they come across Brian, and I only know his name's Brian because he told us repeatedly when he was trying to humanize himself after trying to murder my Pedro Pascal. We'll get to that in a minute. So this guy comes out. It's an ambush. Joel knows it. He's back throwing it in reverse. He's trying to get out. There's, I just want to say that the movie theater that was passed during this scene was playing Underworld. Underworld.
Is that accurate to the time?
Yes, it came out September 19, 2003. So it had been out a week when this hit.
Oh, interesting.
So I thought that was a fun fact.
That's cool.
So, and anyway, so we've got spikes in the road. They crash into a laundromat, and there's three guys shooting at him. Now, all this is going on. Gunfire, all this. I don't know if the people are just so far away that they don't know this is going on, because they do show up later. But I would think in a situation like this, when you have taken a city from Fedra and you are running the show, you got three guys who shoot like stormtroopers. And yes, that is very much a Mandalorian pun with Pedro, because these guys couldn't hit a target in front of their face. Because I was watching the show, and when Joel says, "Telly, don't worry, they're not gonna hit you," I go, "That's right, because they're stormtroopers, Mando."
That is true, though. Like I was like, it was a cool sequence, but I was not worried for their lives once in this whole thing.
These people can't shoot for shit, you know, and it just amazes me. How did they take over the QZ, the quarantine zone? How did they overthrow the government? Take over in Kansas City, Missouri? It's amazing to me. You can't hit shit. So anyway, he gets in a shootout with guy 1 and guy 2, and I think he kills one, injures one really bad, gets Ellie in a hole in the wall. She's in there listening to this unfold with guy number 3, who is attacking Joel, choking him with this rifle. She comes out of first she grabs her knife and she's like, and then she kind of goes, "Oh, hell no, I got something else." So she gets her gun, comes out and shoots the guy. And this is when the humanizing starts. And I'm pretty sure this is definitely a tactic that is used and abused to hell and back in this kind of situation, because they tell you when
wouldn't
you
have
are
fallen for it. You don't think?
no, because I watch a Dateline, and I watch all the murder shows, Tyler. I would
Okay.
not have, and I'm going
Okay.
to tell you why.
Yeah.
Because the first thing they tell you when you are kidnapped is to tell your kidnapper your name, who you are, where your family. I've got a grandson, I've got a son, I've got a husband, I've got cats. These are their names. So that gets in their head somehow and will cause them to hesitate or stop. I don't think that Brian, who was humanizing himself, I didn't buy this shit for a second. He was stalling them. He was stalling them for the other people that were coming, because they couldn't have been that far behind at this point. And they weren't. They were literally around the corner. So, obviously we know this ain't Jill's first rodeo, because he used to be these people. He used to ambush people with Tess and Tommy and his people. We find that out. We know he had another life, okay, before this. And of course, I think maybe his story is a little bit different. Anyway, so he kills the guy, stabs him with the guy's own knife, and that's it. The parade shows up. They end up getting away and hiding. And
well, he makes Ellie go back into the room before he kills her.
Yes.
And I appreciated that, because like I feel like Ellie already has this like almost like too much of a killer instinct for how young she is. Like I feel like he's trying to like preserve her innocence like just a little bit. Like she is still a child.
Yeah.
Like she's like thirsty for those kills. That's
Dude,
like the sense
eyes,
I get.
Yeah, her eyes lit up like a child on Christmas morning when he was beating that soldier to death at the end of episode 1. Remember? She's like, dude, she's here for it. And I'm dying to know what she's done.
I also like I thought that it was very intentional that the way he killed him, and Ellie like probably took notice of this too. The way he killed him was by like not a gunshot, like either like stabbing or like snapping his neck or something that doesn't waste a bullet, and something that doesn't make a loud noise that brings more people to there.
Well, yeah, there's been too much noise at this point.
Yeah.
Too much going on. And he did stab him, and it was a kill shot where he got him. Like, he stabbed him in this is where I'm stabbing you. It doesn't matter what happens. You're bleeding out and you're dying. I don't care how fast they get here. You're done.
Yeah. Yep.
And I think that from what I understand, what I've heard from the video game, he's actually pissed at her for doing this. Like, he's mad. And it kind of, I kind of like to have these little video game versus show moments and comparison.
Yeah.
And so what I wanted to bring in before we get into Kathleen and the other people is they end up hiding in this bar with newspaper covered walls and windows. And Joel is upset. Like, and I can kind of feel this a little bit, because he had a daughter for the same age as Ellie, I believe.
Yeah.
And to think of her having to do something like that, it is unfair. You shouldn't have to live this way. And I'm sorry you had to do that, which is the polar opposite of the conversation that they had in the video game. He's pissed at her for doing it. He does, however, show her how to hold the gun and lets her keep it. In the video game, it's a rifle, not a gun at first. But the whole conversation, though, there was a moment with Ellie where they're sitting there and he's apologizing to her, and she shows a vulnerable side and like, this is a moment where they are both kind of peeling away the layers, and I hear Adele going, "Hello, I'm here in Kansas City, you want to talk?" Anyway, so they're sitting there and they're peeling away. They both have vulnerable moments. She starts to cry and actually reels it in really quick, which I love. That kind of that is just so real to me. I feel like it's an insult to call it acting. It's so real. It's a raw, real moment. And it's not the first time I've had to do that. And my mind is spinning. what did she have to do? What were the circumstances? There's a little bit of naivety, I feel, with her still, with what people are capable of, because she was raised in the Fedra and went to the schools, and they kind of kept her sheltered. So she may not know the truth. Like, you don't know how savage people can be and how they can get and the links they will go to. And God dang it, I hate to bring this show up again. The Walking Dead had an episode 2 years ago where they had severely feral people living in this big 2-story house. They were living in the walls of the house. They had gotten to the point where we're 10, 15 years into this apocalypse. They have long hair. They're naked. They're on all fours, running around like animals. Mm-hmm. They're eating people. Like, if they find you, they freaking eat you. And they barely speak. Like, they talk, but they've lost the human connection. They're all savage now. And they are just running. And this is what happens to people. You go full-blown savage. You have no human instincts. It's like beyond an animal instinct at this point. So she has no idea these kind of people exist. There are people who will keep you chained up in a basement and freaking eat you limb for limb. Mm-hmm. There are people that will keep you to rape you constantly.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I mean, there were people in this movie that I saw that were I can't even tell you, it was terrible, but they were impregnating women and milking them for milk and taking the babies and killing them as soon as they were born, because they didn't have access to milk outside of humans. So it was that bad. Oh God, I don't even want that. So she really doesn't know how savage this world can be. So I'm kind of like wondering, what exactly did she have to go through? And I'm sure everyone out there knows but us. Mm-hmm. I'm sure it's bad. So there's that. But that was a nice moment. They kind of are opening up to one another. But now we have come into meeting Kathleen.
Yeah, I need you to, like, I didn't really explain her role in all of this, so I need you to explain this to me.
You need me to explain something? Oh, hold on. Let me get my water.
Listen, Big Brother Canada's right around the corner. Well, these roles will be reversed very soon.
It's fine.
Don't you
worry. I know you're checking your email. It's fine. What's on Facebook right now?
No.
What is it? No, I'm joking. So, what I've gathered is the wonderful, married to Jason Ritter, John Ritter's son, the great comedian actor, John Ritter, is Melanie Lynskey, whom I love, playing Kathleen from 2.5 Men, Beautiful Creatures, a film that came out in 1993. It was Kate Winslet's debut film. She and Melanie Lynskey in this English, because she's English, play 2 girls obsessed with each other that will go to any lengths to not be separated, where one kills the other's mama. It's crazy. It is a great movie. Beautiful Creatures, 1993 or 94. Look it up. Or 95. It's in that area. It's in the 90s. Look it up. It's on imdb.com. Kate Winslet. Yeah. These two together, that's when I met her, was when I saw this movie. It's great. Anyway, so she's also on Yellow Jackets, if you're watching that. She's one of the main characters in Yellow Jackets. Anyone out there? Anyone watching that shit? Because I need some help. Because season 2's firing up. She's eating people. She's chopping them up, man. She knows how to do it. She's the go-to person in Yellow Jackets to fillet a human. I can't make this up. It's so fucking good.
She physically reminds me. Sorry to like keep bringing it back to like Terminus and The Walking Dead, but she reminds me of the woman from Terminus that was like one of the like leaders or whatever. Remember when Carol like killed that bitch in the room with all the candles and like the pendant? Like that's who I kind of like am comparing this lady to.
And I'm glad you brought that up. And there's nothing wrong with bringing up The Walking Dead, because look, any show like Apocalyptic is going to be intertwined, whether you like it or not. But right before Carol killed this woman, she tried to humanize herself to her. Mm-hmm. She was trying to say to Carol, we have been tortured, raped, Our people have been killed, slaughtered. They took everything from us, and we did the only thing that we knew how to do. She goes, full blown Indiana Jones, boom, puts it in the pocket and walks off. I mean, she doesn't give a fuck. Carol is probably one of the only characters that I liked at the end of The Walking Dead. Like that bitch, yes, because she was done so dirty in the comic book. She commits suicide in the comic book early on, and it's so a 180 from the badass that she turns into on the show. That's one of the only things that I did. And Daryl Dixon didn't exist in the comics. I think I have to say that every show. One
more thing about Carol, because I'm going to forget this thought, but I saw a TikTok that was like, because of course, like people complained about last week's episode. I think Ben Shapiro was like, there's no zombies in this episode, whatever. But like somebody on TikTok was comparing like it was a bottleneck episode, and some of the Walking Dead's like best episodes were bottleneck episodes. And I immediately thought of the one with Carol and Tyree with the two girls where she had to tell Lizzie to look at the flowers.
Yep.
That was such a one-off episode that was just about like social dynamic, and like there was like basically no zombies in that one at all. And like it was a totally contained plot just in one episode. But I immediately thought of that and just how well done that episode was. And particularly like Carol in particular, who had to like shoot and kill this girl when her daughter died from zombies. Like killing this girl by her own hand because she just like mentally can't take.
Carol doesn't have a good track record with children. Okay. Her daughter, this little girl, later on in the show, she takes in a young man that grows up and gets beheaded. It becomes it's a thing. Okay. Carol just needs to stop the mob thing. Okay. It's done. Just be the cool aunt. You're good, go. Carol. I got you. Yeah. But you know what, Tyler? What did the Confederate soldiers used to eat off of in the Civil Wars? What did silverware? What did they used to drink with? What kind of cups? Dixie cups. Wow.
Are these from the episode?
No, these are from the actual book. This is a real book. And I looked it up. Okay. Oh, yeah. I got tons of them for this show's over. You just wait, buddy. This ain't no 45-minute show today. I'm sorry. Okay, so anyway, Kathleen. And
when you said you had 6 pages of notes, I didn't know all 6 pages were just jokes from this book.
Yeah. No, I got it's not that bad. But no, we're introduced tonight by a character named Kathleen, who I've heard is not in the comic book. I'm not in the comic book.
The video game.
The Walking Dead. I was like, this is not in the game. And I think they were talking about that on the after show. This is kind of a new character. These people, Kathleen, we meet her. She's interrogating a doctor who is humanizing himself to her. This doctor's known her entire life. This doctor delivered her as a baby. Well, apparently she's the leader of this group that has taken over Kansas City, Missouri, this part of the city. Well, all of it, I guess. I don't know. But they're taking over. She's Henry. This is going to be not the last time we hear the name Henry. Okay, because this is all about Henry. We need to talk about Henry. Okay, there's a movie with Harrison Ford in it called, I think we need to talk about Henry. Henry is a Henry. Okay, it's all about the Henry. And Henry is, okay, there's something going on with this character. I don't know, but she's all about, where this person, where Henry, where's Henry? He's like, dude, I don't know where Henry is. So anyway, her brother apparently was tortured to death by Fedra. There was a lot of deep shit that went on. I mean, people were tortured. They're hung, they're killed because they're not going to, before they even got to the quarantine zone. So there's a lot of backstory, a lot of things that you and I don't know about that I'm sure a lot of people.
But like that doesn't like even if she's like been through all of that stuff, that doesn't necessarily mean that she deserves to survive if she comes across Joel and what's her face. Because like in this world, like you're not like rewarded for good behavior. Like the only reason you survive is because you fit into the person's plans that you come across. You know, it's
Right.
either like this is like a marriage of convenience, or one person's not walking out of here alive. So, and that's just how it goes in these things. So,
You know,
like, as much as she can like humanize herself, like if it's not a good situation for the two of them, which I don't think it is, I think we're looking at the new enemies here, right?
right.
I don't know.
And she's obsessed with Henry. Chris and I were just laughing during the episode. It's not funny, but like she just keeps talking about this Henry, and I don't know who Henry is. Chris knows who Henry is. I don't know who Henry is, and I'm like, she's so upset. Well, I'll get to it in a minute, but you know what? You know what the leading cause of divorce in a long-term marriage is?
Infidelity.
A stalemate.
Mm.
It's this thing working. It's another one from the book. I had to throw it in there, so we're talking about relationships. We walk right into it. Anyway, so she's interrogating this guy, and then the cavalry shows up with the 3 guys. 2 are dead. One's hanging on by a thread that could be saved by the doctor, but she says no and puts an end to it and kills the doctor. This is what gets me. The guy that shows up, I refer to as modern day Rick Grimes, because it's exactly what he looked like.
Yeah.
He looks like Andrew Lincoln with a white beard and hair, you know, like he doesn't look bad. He looks good. He shows up. He's like, yeah, I look like a guy's got to be a retired SEAL or something, because he knows what he's doing. And he's like, you know, okay, these guys, you know, we don't know what happened. We don't know who did this. And she just goes on a tangent about it was Henry and he did it and all this. And all I could be thinking is, this is what happens when there's no law. There is law in a lawless town. Okay. It's a group thing. And they think it's law, but it's lawless. There's no there's nothing. So, and I think this is where I had written notes about them.
It's
you
like
know,
mob mentality.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, as soon as like one person gets riled up and then they start shouting about it, like then somebody else in the crowd is like, yeah, you're right. And then like it just like stacks from there into this like out of control, crazy situation.
Yeah, because she tells these people. Yeah, she tells these people, I want you to find who did this and kill them. And I want you to find Henry. Like, go out there. You know, who doesn't, if they don't belong here, they're done. If they help, like, apparently I think there was a group, they maybe were originally Fireflies and now they're not, and it's like that doctor was part of that, and or maybe he was part of Fedra torturing, but I don't know. But I have a feeling these are intertwined together somehow, and we're going to find out what's going on later on down the road. But this is where the Henry thing pisses me off, okay? Because Rick Grimes Jesus is what I've been calling him. Takes Kathleen to she's like, have you found anything? Is there anything out there? And he just says, yeah, come with me. This is where Henry has been hiding. I was kind of confused because she's just been talking about Henry. Hey, Tim. He's been eating a lot of canned foods, and he's been drawing a lot of superheroes, two people in capes, and it's like child drawings. So I kind of asked Chris, I was like, and this really isn't spoilery because you see him later on, but it's Henry and Sam, I think is the little boy. And this looks like a young kid. And this is game versus show. The kid is like Ellie's age. He's like 14. So they've de-aged him a little bit, but that's when you kind of put 2 and 2 together. And okay, and in my brain, I'm thinking maybe Henry and Kathleen were a thing, and this is their kid. Okay. And he has taken the kid because look, mama's elevator broke and don't reach the top anymore. Okay.
Yep.
She's done. She's got the what I call the alpha. Hate to go back to Walking Dead, but the alpha mentality. I'm in charge.
It's like the cop in The Walking Dead. The female cop in the hospital where they kidnap Beth. It's almost like that type of like leadership, like authoritarian, like just like a little unhinged kind of thing.
She's very unhinged. And look, I'd be saying the same thing if she were a man. So don't even start. I can see it. Oh, do it because no, trust me, it's not the same thing. Because I did not feel that at all with her. But Rick Grimes Jesus takes her to the hideout, and it just so happens that in the bottom floor, like basement area of this building, he's like, look, I know this is bad and you want to find Henry and shit, but I need you to look at this. Takes her down there into this big space. The ground is pulsating. There is something pushing up from below that is trying to cut to the surface, come up, and what is my notes? She says, oh, wait a minute. I lost my notes. Okay, turn the page. I got to turn my page over. This is what happens when you handwrite notes. Anyway, he takes her, first like, blah, blah, blah. She's like, oh, what is her thing? We need to deal with this later and just seal the corners or something because we got to find Henry.
That's a mistake.
Bitch, we are looking at infected fungi people that could come in herds if you just trip over your own damn self in the street and you hit the ground the right way. It's going to send a tentacle, signal out somewhere. And that's what got me. It's like, oh, Jesus Christ. This is so typical. The dumbest shit. She just wants to we're just going to ignore it. It'll go. Maybe it's nothing. It's kind of like a Chinese balloon flying over the United States for 4 days. We'll deal with it when we have to later. We'll wait till it's over water. Okay. And then it's fine. Because once it's over water, we're totally fine. Not the data that it has recorded or anything, but we're totally fine. And, so we'll just ignore the pulsating crater in the middle of the basement that probably has God knows what coming out from because these things fucking mutate.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. They do. And from what I've seen in the preview for next week, it's a huge, I forget what they call it. It's one of the biggest infected, and it's hard. It's so hard to destroy. It's hard to shoot. It's the spores are so thick. You can hardly kill these things. It's like the Hulk. If the Hulk turned into an infected fungi monster, this is what you're going to get. And it's trying to cut, but we're just going to ignore it. We're just going to leave it alone.
Yeah, forget about it. It's but fine. Henry, though.
throw some water on it. But Henry, though. But Henry, we got to get Henry. I'm dying to know what Henry's done. The only thing I can think of is he betrayed her by taking their son. I swear to God, the shit, you're going to hear me all the way up in New York if that's what comes out. And side note, it airs Friday instead of Sunday because of the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So just if you're waiting to watch it Sunday, you could watch it Friday. But we're still going to do the show Monday. So anyway, Ellie and Joel, they find this building. They got to go. There's 45 flights of stairs. They make it up 33. They have the heartfelt conversation about, he's like, I did things. And she's like, did you kill innocent people? And he just stares at her. And she's like, well, that tells me what I need to know. Okay. And they go into they find this room. And this is what gets me, is like, they set up in this room and Joel takes the broken glass and is just setting this up Kevin McAllister style, like we're in fucking Home Alone, the apocalypse. Like and that thought, it made me in my brain, I think Kevin McAllister would totally survive this. Totally. I think he could booby trap an entire building and no one would ever get to him.
Yeah, 100%.
100%. I just thought of that when I was like, man, I'm going to tag Macaulay Culkin and see what he says. I want to come on the show. Let's talk about it. What would you do? Yeah, let us know. Let us know what you would do to use to protect yourself. If you didn't have guns, you didn't have anything like that, you'd use cans of paint. What you got? Let's see. Let's hear about it. So anyway, this kind of comes up. They're laying there. She's telling more jokes like, I used to be addicted to soup, but I'm clean now. Diarrhea's hereditary. It runs through your genes. Yeah.
That was a good one. I like that one.
A book just fell on my head. I only have my shelf to blame. Tons of them. Anyway, so they're having more bonding moments, and she's like, look, are you going to be able to hear that glass? Because I've kind of noticed your right side is weak, because she was calling out to him when they were camping, and you didn't hear her at first. And I kind of noticed that too. So he's like, no, I'm fine. It's just from I shoot on that side, and that's why you should stick to your knife and not your gun, and blah blah blah. And they have a moment, and it ends the episode with where's my with the guns? Yeah, her yelling, "Wake up, wake up!" And you got two men, a little boy and a man, standing over him with guns, telling him to shush. Cut to fade out to a cover version of New Order's Truth Faith, covered by Lottie Kessner. If you want to look that up on YouTube, beautiful, beautiful version. I'm an 80s. I grew up with this music. I immediately knew it. This song. I knew it was New Order. I didn't know the name of the song because they also do Blue Monday. If you've ever heard that. So anyway, it's the song.
So who do you think these people are?
Who do I think these people are? I think that they are just. I don't want to call them
good guys or bad guys.
I think they're bad guys. I don't think they're survivalists at all because to me, a survivalist is surviving. They're not trying to cause harm like this. They're fleshing out people who aren't on their side, that aren't going with their agenda. This kind of proves my point. When some people, not all people, Tyler, but some people, when they are put in a position of power, they mirror, whether they like it or not, sometimes the very thing that they hate. If you hate the government and you overthrow the government because they're killing and raping and murdering and doing all of these things, and now you're in charge, you end up doing the same thing to keep order. Hate to keep going back to it, but The Walking Dead, everybody hated what's his name, the bat with the Negan. Everybody hated Negan in the beginning, because he killed Glenn and the other dude. But here's the spoiler: if you haven't seen it, it's been like
jumping off point.
It's been like 7 years. If you haven't seen it yet, I'm not sorry. But anyway, he kills Abraham. He kills, it's sad. It's terrible. But I understood Negan because somebody has to be in control and there has to be consequences. And I can't say it enough. This is law in a lawless world. You think it's law, but it's not. And he's got to make a point. You're either going to work with us or against us. And this is what happens. So in this era, I think we're going to hang you. We're going to kill you. We've been Democrats our entire lives, but guess what? We're Republicans now. We've completely done a 180. And it just goes to show, like, how do you control an uncontrollable situation? Violence.
Power.
Power.
It's just a power tussle.
It's power. And I don't know how.
It's very primal.
It's very primal. And I'm not being sexist at all, but I don't know how Kathleen is in charge over rock and roll Rick Grimes Jesus. I don't know. I'm trying to figure that out because he's like, when are we going to tell? We got to, and she's just flying off the deep end. That's a one bullet problem. I'm sorry.
I totally see this, Allison. Like the mastermind, like okay, so the head leader is not the brawn, it's the brain, right. And their loyal number 2 is somebody that usually is not very intelligent, but has the skills, like the physical abilities to make up for their weaknesses. And so they just treat them as a very loyal soldier. So like, we don't know anything about Rick Grimes Jesus. Like, we don't know, like, we're assuming he's an intelligent man, but like, he could just be brute strength, her meat shield. You know what I mean?
But see, from what I gathered from this episode, and I get it, there's a brain in the brawn, but what I got from him, like I said, he's a SEAL. He's he's been in the military. He knows stuff. Mm-hmm. And he knows. I'm real good on reading this kind of stuff. Okay. And I feel like, and I'm not to say that you're not or anything. I'm just saying that I picked up that he's a little bit more than just the brawn here. Okay. And she is more than just the brain. And I think that she's been in charge a while and there's holes in her armor and it's starting to show with this obsession with Henry. She was great to follow in the beginning, but now this obsession is kind of taking over to the point that she is putting everyone else in danger with this, the shit in the ground.
Yeah.
And he's like, even his look, he's like, what? To me, that's a one bullet problem. I'm putting a bullet in her head right then and there. Nobody's around. We got strays on the loose. We don't know who they are. I can easily blame this on them. There's no CSI ballistics about to pop out anywhere to match the bullets in my gun.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm done. Like you're going to kill everybody, but that's not where we are. So like I said, these people are intertwined somehow. I don't think these are good people. I think that these could be a mixture of good and bad, because sometimes you've got to follow the herd to survive. You've got to follow the herd to stay alive. That doesn't mean you participate in everything.
Do you think one of them could be Henry?
No, I think one of the guys that the guy that found Joel and Ellie, I think that's Henry.
Okay, no, that's what I mean. Like, so maybe like if that is Henry, maybe they like do like a bargain for like, we'll give you Henry, but you have to give us supplies to let us get the hell out of here. That type of thing.
If this were Joel 10 years ago when he was bad and whatever, or maybe in the earlier days, and it would had to have been in the beginning, because I'm thinking about the timeline here. He would not have been doing this stuff when he was friends with Bill and Frank, I don't think. Okay. I mean, I know he was with Tess, but I think this might have been in the early day. Like, I think this was a very long time ago. But I think if this was him back then, I could see the bartering. Okay. But I think he's going to find out the story. Like, he's going to hear what's going on, and it's going to change. Because like I said in the beginning, the cracks in his wall are coming down, and he's listening a little bit more. Like, I think if Ellie hadn't been there when he was attacked by Brian, I think that would have been handled right away.
Yeah.
Because he's got more. He says cargo, but we all know it's more than just cargo going on here.
I don't know. I'm kind of hoping they are good guys, because I don't know how much of a just Joel and Ellie story this is going to be, but I could see myself getting like bored with like just following the same two people. So like I would love for them to end up being good guys and them like joining the party just for like other characters to have like stories and stuff,
I think one of the complaints with the show versus the game is that Bill traveled with them for a bit. And some people are pissed off because they wanted to see that threesome travel.
Maybe this is like the new, like this is the Bill replacement.
And this could definitely be a situation where we're introduced to a group of people and they escape in the next episode, and they don't turn up again until the season finale or somewhere down the line in season 2. I don't know. I have no idea, but I think that there's a mixture of good people. I feel like Rick Grimes Jesus is not a bad person. I feel like he doesn't have a good leader. Yeah, I don't think he has a good leader. I think if we had a different leader and this was going a different way, it would be a better situation. But you are only.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, you lead by example as a leader. I can't say it enough. If you're being an asshole to the staff's going to kind of, the ass kissers are going to be assholes. If the boss is an asshole, the managers are going to be assholes. I mean, it's kind of shit trickles down. It happens.
Yeah.
So, but totally. Yeah, I'm thoroughly convinced these aren't good people. I think they're going to get out next episode, and I think we're going to see a little bit more. How many episodes are in this season? 8 or 9?
9.
Okay, so we're halfway. We're halfway.
Yep.
I really want to see Tommy. I'd like to see what he's doing, and I don't know. I think these people are going to show up and then be gone, and because Melanie Linsky is a full-time regular on Yellow Jackets. So I don't know how that works. in the world of film and series. But then again, dude is filming Mandalorian, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I don't know how like all of that works in terms of like actor ownership for like different streaming platforms and stuff, but I don't know.
I do feel like we're going to have a lot more cameos though, because the guy the doctor that was killed, he's been in a lot of stuff, and his name, I totally forgot to look him up. He's been in a lot of stuff. I know when you saw him, you're probably like, oh, I know him from somewhere. Melanie Linsky showing up. I mean, gosh, Murray Bartlett and Nick Offerman. I mean, season 2, people are going to be foaming at the mouth. Just let me die. Just let me be a clicker. I don't care. You know, people are going to be wanting to do it. So
that is cool.
But that's really all I got at this point. Pedro Pascal just hosted Saturday Night Live this past week. Did you watch it?
I watched the Mario skit that they did, and I thought that was very funny. Yeah,
that looks better than the actual Mario movie that's coming out this spring.
I don't know. I'm pretty hopeful about it. I actually think that this Mario movie is going to be the best-selling animated movie of all time.
You think? Well, a lot of people aren't happy about Chris Pratt voicing Mario.
I know, but that's a very American problem. Like Japan doesn't care about that, and Japan is like the like 90% of like video game audiences. So they will come out for this Mario movie for sure.
Well, there was no Last of Us parody. There was no Mandalorian parody. Probably one of the best SNLs I've seen in a really long time. I just happened to be up because my grandson was spending the night and decided I'm going to be up till 12:30 in the morning. And it was his first full episode of Saturday Night Live. And me and Grandpa were up. We ate ice cream at 11:30 at night. It was so much fun. It was a memory. Okay. It was a memory. We were making memories. What were you doing?
Probably playing video games.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to My Weekly Meltdown. You'll get notifications for when we go live. If you are a patron, we are covering the final 3 episodes, 7 through 9 of RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars 2 this Thursday evening. If you are a Big Brother fan, a Big Brother Canada, or want to watch Big Brother Canada, that starts up in March. If you're like, hey, I don't want to watch, how can I watch Big Brother? I can't, because I can't watch Big Brother Canada. There are ways around that. There are ways around that, and we will guide you. You will be watching it.
There is so many rumors that it is an all-star season for Big Brother Canada. So we'll see. I think they're definitely due for one. So I'm cautiously optimistic. But if it is newbies, like, I'm still very okay with that, because they always do such a great job with casting newbies. So
well, if it's all-stars, if it's all stars and there's a certain person that pops up on there, I have bragging rights.
Who?
Suzanne.
Suzette?
Suzette. Yeah.
I think she's like number 1. I think her and Gary are like number 1 with a bullet for like season 1 people that could come back. So it's not impossible. I could see it.
I called her Suzanne on Sequoia.
She was the first HOH in Big Brother Canada history.
Huh?
She was the first HOH in Big Brother Canada history.
Poker face. That woman has a poker face. She scared me.
She's entertaining and she's messy. I would love to see her back.
Yeah. But my vote. That's what we've got going on. And of course, Survivor 44 starts back March 1st. Is it March 1st?
I think so. We'll have to, of course, we'll do like a preseason draft and stuff like that. They just released the cast. The cast is looking good. So we'll figure out like a draft and cast analysis situation beforehand. Always do.
And the premiere episodes March 1st for sure. So we've got that going on. Some couple of other things we'll throw together for you. But yeah, that's it. This is I was just kind of throwing it out there for anyone who's new to the show. We cover Big Brother in the summer, and
wait, I have one question for you. What's like name me a Survivor or Big Brother player that you think would do very well in this The Last of Us like post-apocalyptic zombie universe? Give me somebody that you think would be good.
Okay, do I have a Big Brother And God, okay, you go first because I need to think.
I think I don't like him personally, but I think Brad Culpepper from Survivor would probably do very well in the zombie universe. For Big Brother, gosh, that's tougher.
Okay, Big Brother. I'm gonna say what's his name? Cody Nixon.
Yeah. Okay.
The guy.
Oh yeah, from Big Brother 19. I can see that. Yeah, that's a good.
Yeah, definitely. I'd ride his coattails. I'd be his Ellie. I'd be like, yes, I'm gonna survive if I wanted to, but personally, I want to die. I want everyone to die. I want my family to die. I want you and Tim to die. But everybody dies, so I don't have to worry from beyond what's happening to you. Even Rory. I want Rory to die because I don't want to worry about him and Kyle and everybody. I want y'all to die if there's an apocalypse, so I don't have to worry from heaven or hell, wherever I am, probably in purgatory. When I'm in purgatory, let's just be real, because I'm always on the fence with Jesus, figuring out what's going on. But yeah, I'd say Cody Nixon from Big Brother. If I had to pick, period. That's right, Rory. And if I had to pick someone from Survivor that could survive in a zombie apocalypse, who did you say? Culpepper?
Brad Culpepper.
And it starts in 2003? No, I guess, I mean, that doesn't matter.
Ignore that. Like, yeah. I can see Boston Rob doing pretty well too.
Man, my mind is a blank right now. I'm gonna say Yam Yam from the coming up season of I'm going with Yam Yam, 100% Yam Yam from the upcoming season of Survivor. It hasn't aired yet, but if you go watch his interview videos and everything, he's into aqua dumps and he's like, bring it, I'm here for it, and I'm here for it too. So Rory in the chat, okay, he says, I take Ozzy and Donnie Thompson. That's good
answers. Yeah,
Ozzy would climb a tree get the stick. I would be climbing a tree just to get away from people, and I'd be living in the tree if I was forced to survive. But yeah, Donnie would be a good one. But there's so many people that your survival skills versus your people, like, are you a good talker? Like, I think Rob Cesternino could get through it just because he's a good talker. Like, he could get, because it's not always the muscle that can get you out of it. It is the brain that can get. That's why with the leaders, like you said before, you have muscle and the brawn and the brain and the brawn.
What about who do you think would do better, Russell Hantz or Tony Vlachos?
Okay, who?
Russell Hantz.
Okay.
Or Tony Vlachos.
Tony. Russell, I love you, honey, but you get killed immediately. You run that mouth to the wrong person. Tony be in the ground.
He'll have a spy shack.
He'd have a spy shack. He would inadvertently inhale the fungi from the ground and become a clicker from trying to burrow himself in the earth. And Rory continues and says, and Donnie could de-escalate any situation, in my opinion. True. And yes, Rory, Tony would survive as well. So yeah, well, we didn't have any women, but my mind's a blank. I think Sarah.
Yeah, I would say Sarah.
I think Sarah from Survivor.
Natalie Anderson. I think she'd do
well. Okay, and one more, just for argument's sake, from the challenge.
Okay.
From the challenge, and this includes real world, all of it. We'll just call it the challenge. Who from the challenge, 2 people, are going to survive, not in the Walking Dead world, but in the Last of Us world?
Okay, I'll give you a man and a woman.
Okay.
Man, I think Turbo would be very good in this world, and I would say Sarah Rice. She is very much so an outdoorsman type of person, especially lately, and she's very smart as well. So I think like Sarah and Turbo together would be. Also, I would trust Jordan in The Last of Us as well.
Jordan was my pick for the man. For
Okay.
sure. 100%. I think Jordan would be really good. Anissa, and I hate to be a cliche. I know, but because they're on the latest season. But I also think, okay, I'm having a brain fart. Who's the host of the challenge?
TJ Lavin.
TJ Lavin. God bless you. I'm so sorry. I'm just tired, and I might have taken a Valium. But anyway, so I think TJ Lavin would be a good. He might. Okay, if we could put a group together, we'd have TJ Lavin, we'd have Jordan, we'd have Anissa, we'd have Sarah Rice, and we'd have Turbo, and Devin. I feel like Devin would be the leader, but not on purpose. I feel like he would just be the one that they put out front because, one, we don't really need him, but two, we kind of digs and talks his way through anything. Him and his muscle is Turbo. How freaking hilarious is that? Because these two fucking hate each other. On the last season, they were on together. I want to do this show. I'm gonna be thinking about it all night now.
Who from the challenge? Yeah, this is we can make like a whole show about this. Who from the challenge would you least want to be in this universe with?
I'm not trying to be ugly, but I don't want to be anywhere around Johnny Bananas or Tori or any of those people. Like, I don't want to be around you. I don't want to see
Josh
Nani.
Martinez.
I swear to God, I would get fucking stuck with Josh Martinez. But you know what? That's okay.
Josh Martinez and Camila.
Oh God, I kind of want Camila because I feel like I could wind her up and just throw her at a bunch of people, and she'd be like Wonder Woman at the end of the movie Wonder Woman when she just goes through and after they kill her boyfriend and she goes, spoiler if you haven't seen it, she goes through and kills everybody. I think she could do it. There are a lot of people, like there are people in real life I wouldn't want to be stuck with. Like I wouldn't want to be stuck with me in this kind of situation. My husband fucking lives for it. I told you he's like Bill. I mean, without the closet, of course. But I mean, like, oh, I don't know. But anyway, like, I seriously, like, he lives for this kind of stuff. I'm not made for this. Okay? It's not going to happen. At least John would be armed with friggin' dude, he would swing. He's going to swing if you put him out there. Yeah. He'd draw him out. You would use him to draw out the infected, so to draw fire, so you can get the fuck away and run the opposite.
Figure out a brand steal of like somehow doing like a brand steal of like the Last of Us universe, but with people we've picked from the challenge and Big Brother and Survivor and stuff. That would be so funny.
Would get stuck with Beth from the real world LA.
I love that bitch. I would love to see her in The Last of Us.
I would be stuck with her. This is what would happen to me. If I'd be stuck with Tammy, Beth, David, and Becky.
Becky,
and Julie.
Yeah. I would love to see that.
And I would be the asshole in the group. I would be the chain smoking G.I. Jane in the group. I would go full balls in, just warrior mode, leading the pack with the machine gun, do what I say, and that's it. When I tell you, I don't repeat myself. That's it, shush. And I'd probably have Tammy as my right hand because she and I would get shit done. Okay, yep. Tammy and I need to discuss your future, Beth. We need to know if we're going to eat you. We're starving. Someone's got to be eaten. I got to eat somebody.
Beth or Julie? One of those.
Which limb I ain't eating Julie.
That Mormon.
I already have Mormon in my blood. We discussed this. I found out my grandma, my paternal grandmother, was born in the Mormon church, and I didn't know it. But she left, so don't worry. So, yeah, Josh the Bait Martinez. Yeah, we should make a list. Yeah, it's going to be lit. Or The Last of Us is going to be so lit. It's so
We need Rory to come on that show with us when we do it.
Rory, are you watching The Last of Us? Because I would love for you to come on. Are you available next Monday? Let us know. Catch
let us
up.
know.
You have a whole damn week.
Yep.
Anyway, so this was going to be a quick show tonight.
Sorry, I opened up a can of worms.
No,
but it was fun.
It's fun. It's just it's a good topic conversation to have. I mean, you know, people who love this show are now thinking, oh, I would have this person, that person. But yeah, we're on Twitter. My Weekly Meltdown. It's at MW_meltdown. Add us on Twitter. Hashtag The Last of Us. Let us know what, you know, and hashtag My Weekly Meltdown. Let us know who you would have in your reality TV, reality show, reality star version of The Last of Us.
Yes. I'm gonna research like how to do this after the show's done.
We need to, because
yes.
I'm sometimes my brain, because you know my ADD kicks in. I'm sitting there and I'm thinking like Shane from the real world, no, from The Walking Dead, would have thrived in this apocalypse.
They
like
shouldn't have killed Shane. I stand by that.
You were cut. Oh, Shane, you were done dirty. You were done dirty. You were. Anyway, that's it. Subscribe, like, follow. I'm going to make a top 10. Rory, you come on Sunday. You can read your top 10.
Perfect.
Yes, 100%. All right, guys, that ends it for our coverage for The Last of Us episode 4. We will be back for the coverage of episode 5. Let's see what new 80s song gets covered or reborn for Allison's sake and enjoyment. We'll see you next Monday at 8/7 Central. And remember, shit, my screen went dark. Hold on. I got a good one. Just bear with me. It's almost over. The Band-Aid's about to be...
I'm remembering.
Be completely pulled off. All right, here you go. Are you ready? I stayed up all night wondering where the sun went. Then it dawned on me. Good night, everyone. Good night.